That's it, folks. The digital dollar is set to wipe out the working class. And I want to share a comment with you that pretty much led me to this conclusion and propelled me to make this video for you guys as soon as possible. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Hopefully you guys can see and read what it says here. If not, I will read it to you. And it says that, note based on what Alaska Prepper showed us, the FDIC clearly stated when it happens, not if it happens, that it would happen on a Friday night. Now, folks, this is in response to a video that I have recently uploaded to my channel. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. All these people see banks' savings accounts drained and wiped out by tomorrow. And it says in the comment that people better take their money out of the banks before they seize all of your accounts, because it's going to happen. Now, let's think about this for a second. We know that there's going to be a push for a central bank digital currency, cbdc. This digital dollar already exists to some degree with the transactions that are already occurring through credit and, just ones and zeros on computer ledgers floating throughout space in the cloud, from bank to bank. We know that. But eventually, the actual paper currency will more than likely be eliminated and deemed useless. However, ironically, the Fed is buying up tons and tons of gold, which we'll talk about in another video. But in this video, I want to discuss this comment here that says, Alaska Prepper showed us that the FDIC clearly stated when it happens, not if it happens, it will happen on a Friday night. Okay, cool. Live in fear every Friday because you think that Friday night is going to be the night. People better take their money out of the banks before they seize all of your accounts, because it's going to happen. Well, here's the deal. If they take the money out of the banks, if you take all your money out of the banks, and then that money is deemed useless as we transition to a cbdc, the central bank digital currency, the digital dollar, then all that money you took out is worthless. So your only recourse is going to be to succumb to the transition of the financial monetary system and move to digital dollars, the digital currency. Therefore, you will not be able to take your money out of the banks. And if they're going to seize it, they're going to seize it, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, granted, you may have recalled that I created a video not too long ago where I share with you guys a device, and it's called a cold storage wallet. And in my opinion, moving forward, this may be your best line of defense against any form of FDIC collapse, any form of bank account seizure. A cold storage wallet could potentially save your monetary assets in these banks, so that they're not on their system, they're on your own. This will be the new form of cash, so to speak. Granted, FDIC's collapse wouldn't necessarily mean that they're going to seize folks' money, but at the end of the day, we know that FDIC cannot write the checks or cash the checks that they write. So it's already crashed if you think about it, really. It's an insurance policy that can't cover the amount of damage that could be caused by the claims. However, I think we need to look at this a little bit broader, a little bit further, a little bit bigger. And the real situation at hand is that this is all fictitious. This is not necessarily what I would consider real. There's so much perception of claimed value and assumed value that we really should be more so concerned about our future generations and their likelihood of survival, based on the fact that the money, the dollars, the lights that are shutting off in here. I'm on a motion sensor light here, so I guess I need to move around to turn this light back on. All right, so we need to be really more concerned about the future generations and the fact that they are being, I'm not going to say we are, but ultimately a giant hole is being dug for them to try to dig their way out of, which honestly, I don't really see how that's going to be possible. And it's all based on perceived value. So in my opinion, here's what I would rather see happen if it were me. So If I'm in fear of a banking system collapse, if I'm in fear of FDIC collapse, if I'm in fear of all my physical monetary assets being seized in these banks, then I would want to be as heavy as possible in cash flow producing assets. And actually, somebody sent an email last night, and I think they sent it to Squirrel Tribe, and she forwarded it to me. And they were saying that they were coming into an inheritance, they were coming into some money, and they wanted to know what to do with it. This is a loaded question, in my opinion. There's a lot of things you could do with it. I don't know your particular circumstance. I don't know your particular situation. And I don't know your particular goals. However, if it were me, then, in my current situation, I would just invest the money in myself, and or if I had any high interest debt, I would eliminate it, plain and simple. Now, as far as moving forward with the possibility of a banking system collapse and FDIC collapse, and having all the money in your checking and savings accounts seized, well, they can't take what's not there. So they can't take what's not there, and I need a way to replace what is lost. Therefore, cash flow producing assets would be my first direction. That would be my main goal. Why? Because you're not going to seize those with an FDIC collapse. A home is still a home. A condo is still a condo. A townhouse is still a townhouse. Even a mobile home is still a mobile home. It will still have a purpose. It'll still have some intrinsic value to someone or several someones, which then could be used as a bartering tool to maintain a lifestyle, to replenish the lost dollars as the system resets. And people still go to work and people still earn money. It's just that everything that they had in the past is possibly gone and wiped out. So I would want to be heavy in cash flow producing assets so I could still produce income, even if I lost my savings. I wouldn't lose my investments. I would just lose my savings. I would lose, what I was sitting on in the banks if that were to happen. But this is like just scratching the surface at a 30,000 foot level on what could potentially possibly happen in the future. That really doesn't even address the catastrophic problems that the future generation or two is going to face as we are blowing through resources, finite resources, and spending dollars that we don't have, printed on fictitious money and bogus dollar amounts, and now introducing these digital cryptocurrency and central bank digital currency tokens that are literally just made up values backed by hope, backed by history, backed by it's what we've always done, backed by, setting prices. Folks, we are on this, roller coaster ride of inflation that is also being driven by the fact that our money really has no true value. However, we do realize that we need it to operate day to day. So you have to keep that in mind and not forget it, because you'll still have to have it. You'll still have to pay these bills. Yeah, sure, a bill may be $100 a month today for electricity or heat or whatever it may be, and it may be $1,000 a month 12 months from now because of inflation, but it still has to be paid, and you'll still have to earn the income to pay for it, if that makes sense. We do have a struggle ahead of us, but it doesn't mean that we give up. It doesn't mean that we just give in. It just means that we pay attention, we're aware, and we continuously prepare and work hard to address these warning signs that are being presented to us and try to do the best we can to survive and continue a sustainable form of survival for not only us, but our family, our friends, our community, and ultimately the whole world. I don't want to throw you guys for a loop, but at the end of the day, I do feel as though that we are on a timeline, and that eventually at some point we will run out of non-renewable resources. Although advancements in technology and science will potentially increase the amount of renewable resources available and or repurpose some resources so that we don't go all the way to zero, But with, again, advancements in technology and science and space exploration, odds are we're going to have to relocate to another planet after we've dried this one up.